Indeed. And greetings upon you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you so much for joining me again. I do believe my Reddit live stream didn't go through, isn't actually live right now, so I am going to restart this one. Sometimes Reddit just doesn't work, but sometimes Reddit really does. Hey, it's this dude. Oh man, usually he has his title as Be Excellent to Each Other. And rock on, dudes. Hey, Candace and Dan. Thank you for joining me, friends. There we go, this time it worked. I'll say again, indeed. And greetings upon you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you so much for joining me, not only in thought, but in person. Yeah, technically, yes. Technically in person. Thank you for joining me, friend. It's so nice to have you here. Dan, Candace, how are you doing, friends? How's the family? Are you about moved in? Like you were moving in this weekend, right, Candace? So how is that progressing? How are you feeling for it? How has that process been going? How are the kids handling it, kind of? Like I'm really curious about that as well. And while I wait to find out, if you'd be willing to tell me, I do want to read something worth saying. Oh goodness, this one hasn't come up to us again in a long time. And this is almost one of the things worth saying that I've lived my life by, ever since really kind of consolidating it into myself. It goes, commitment is nothing more than the deliberate decision that something will be so. Commitment is nothing more than the deliberate decision that something will be so. Whew. Life is living you. Yourself is merely a conduit through which mystery lives itself. Feels very fitting. Feels very, very fitting. I want to talk about friendship today. Friendship and commitment to friendship. Maybe those that is a combination. And the fact that that commitment, quote came up. Commitment is nothing more than the deliberate decision that something will be so. If you've committed to a friendship, you've committed to being a friend to this person, then no matter what happens, you've made that commitment. A deliberate decision that something will be so. Whoa! No hair! Now you get to see Melt with, his business attire hair. Slicked back. I was not feeling like taking care of my hair today. I was just like, eh, eh. I feel a little bit today. And even though I feel a little bit today, a friend reached out. A friend reached out that hasn't reached out in a very long time, and it was literally 10 seconds, 10 seconds of maybe even less. Hey homie, your actions speak as a true friend. Thank you for that. I think it was something like that. And yeah, just that moment, just that thought that we got to share with one another again, it felt good. Ermias Plur, friends, it felt really good. And I said this to him as well. And just after saying it, I felt it again while I was, doing yoga today. It's just that we are, none of us, dead or alive, no more than a thought away from one another. No more than a thought away from one another. Because you are that divine mind at the end of the day, right? You are that fundamental, quintessential existence. And all of that existence has been experienced through the medium of thought. So this person that you're thinking about, this person that you're missing, this person that you may might still have in your life and just be missing them, as a longing, or might not have in your life and might be missing them as a longing as well. They're not gone. They're not gone because there, there they are in your thoughts. There they are in your thoughts. So maybe that will be our intention for today: is to be mindful of our thoughts, right? I do believe that's how thoughts are spelled, right? THOUGHTS. Freaking English. You know what we call thoughts in Afrikaans? Dunk. DINK. It's so easy. Dunk. You can even hear it in the way that it's said. Oh, the complexity of our thoughts. You know, we can get so intoxicated by that sometimes, thinking all of these cool things. Ideas for business, ideas for technology, ideas for society, and yet we can use that capacity to think about one another. And you know, I'm really curious. Like I shared with you friends that I think about you friends as fractals, because if I think about you, there is this fractal of experiences, right? Not only attached to all of the things we've experienced together, but all of the things that you might have shared, you know, inadvertently. Maybe, you know, the stuff that you like doing in your free time, you know, the little stuff you collect, maybe the hobbies that you have, etc., etc. There's so much attached to each and every single one of us, even if we only get to share moments with another person. And quite the contrary, you know, I would like to say that when you don't know another person, the fractal of possibility or the fractal of potential in your head might be bigger than the fractal of knowing in your head for that person, which can also be a very beautiful thing. It's weird. It's weird how powerful we are, you know, and yet we don't always know how to use that power. Sometimes we do, and sometimes we choose not to. I feel that one confuses me even more. And I ask myself why. And then the answer comes back because sleeping is fun. And then I laugh at myself because I'm like, you're full of shit. You see? All three are there as well. Let's get back just to unity. Unity within duality. You hear that? Mother Nature is being nice and spicy. Maybe we'll get some rain again. We got a lot of rain last night and the night before. It's been raining during night times. It's nice. It's nice because we're gonna get some winter very soon. But the rain kind of inadvertently made the winter come faster, or it just feels like it's kind of winter right now. Okay. Infinity symbols made. Extra magic needs to be attached to it. I'm feeling some things today. I'm feeling some things. I'm trying to be as aware as I possibly can of yesterday's conversation as well. You know, yesterday's conversation in light of sleeping, being awake, being aware, and how all of those roles are necessary to be played. Right? Not one of them is more important than the other. But there's a part of me that feels like the plane is crashing. You know? And that there's no more time. There's no more time for the passengers just to be passengers. The passengers need to be helping, you know, clear debris, or need to be helping kids get masks on their faces. Not like actual COVID masks, just like oxygen. You know, this analogy is falling apart as I'm trying to tell it. Yeah, we need to be the ones that are taking control. of this journey, of this direction that where our lives are taking. And I feel it genuinely starts with thought. It starts with the very things that we are thinking. And you're thinking things right now, right? You're thinking things as I'm saying things about the things that I'm saying. And that's just how we kind of do it. And who am I to say whether your thoughts are the right thoughts or not the right thoughts? I can't say that. How should I know? I'm just looking at this small human being living on the surface of a planet somewhere with an infinity. We're all here for a reason. That I do believe, though. And then I wonder if I try to, the word comes to mind as help someone, like especially this friend of mine. Will I be taking something from him and him wanting to play this role in his life? And this friend is a genius. Like an actual, I'm not even joking. I'm pretty sure he's a genius. He studied chemistry. And the conversations me and him could have of one another, we could literally have for hours. We could just have a conversation for hours and hours and never stop. And then our friendship was ended by him because I've changed. What's his words? After going to China and coming back, I've changed. I'm no longer the same Melt that he knew. And that was ground enough to end the friendship, at least in his book. Me, on the other hand, I was like, oh, hell no. Oh, no. Little did you know that I do not let friendships end, that easily. And I kept reaching out to him, and I, was calling his mom during that time. I still call his girlfriend. Like I have more success reaching his girlfriend than I have reaching him. But during this time of his life, and this is what his girlfriend said to me, so I'm just paraphrasing. Like he only has time for the friends that he plays games with. There's nothing wrong with playing games. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. I feel it's almost essential to our survival as a species going into the future. Like we're going to need those escapes sometimes to deal with the nature of our realities. But if anything, like I'm thinking so many things at the same time. Like one part of myself is like, he could be playing the role of showing you, what that does. He could be playing the role of being a friend who's in that pattern, and you have to learn how to help. You have to educate yourself. You have to equip yourself with the skills to actually be able to help in that scenario. You have to say this thing. You have to do that thing. You have to, etc., etc. And then I'm just like, I'm kind of stuck. I'm stuck in between all of these options, and feeling like the only option that really makes sense is to let that friend be the way that he wants to be, without any judgment, without any resistance to the way he's living his life, and just to love him nonetheless, to think loving thoughts of him nonetheless. Again, he's no more than a thought away. So just to consciously think loving thoughts about him and sending them to him, hoping for success. I wish I knew something. That's the real thing. I don't even know where he is. I don't know where he's living. I don't know in what city. I don't know in what town. I don't know what he's doing right now. Not even his mom does. I've reached out to her as well and asked. And that part bothers me more than anything. Not so much that he's not willing to talk to me, but he's not willing to talk to his parents. And they don't know anything about him either. They don't know where he is. And his parents love him to bits. And us friends, me and my friends, talk to his parents more than he does. What do we do? What do we do? His friend is no more than a thought away, and more often than not, the thoughts I'm thinking concern me. Maybe not the thoughts I'm thinking themselves. Again, it's not so much the thing that's happening in the world that disturbs man, but his thoughts about the thing that's happening. Epictetus. Dude knew what he was talking about. Shannon Bongan, it's so nice to have you here, friend. Bullies are nothing but bulls and lies. Ooh, I like that one. That is kind of nice, actually. Very cool. I left my lighter. Maybe it's for the best. More friends! Feeling lots of gratitude for knowing you all. Goodness, Brother Bay. Feeling so grateful to have you here. I think it's the first time you said it exactly that way. Or maybe it's just the first time that it clicked to me in that way. You saying more friends, like it smelled more friends, but also manifesting, even more friends. I mean, there was so many more friends here today. Whoa, no hair slicked back today, friend. Didn't feel like I wanted to treat myself to anything. I was like, no, just get yourself in clothing, dude. Tie your hair up, brush your teeth, and I was like, fine, fine. Human body brushes, human teeth. Is that the friend you were talking about yesterday? Yes, it was. It was that friend. That's the crazy thing, Eden. That's why I was like, especially today, tripping out about the significance of these moments, because now all of these things are coming back to me. All of these little fractals of thinking that I have surrounding this friend. Sofa, 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 sofa. So much love to you as well. Spatil Reed, good morning to you, friend. Thank you for joining us. Much love to you, Puppy says. Thank you for the love, friends. Oh, how funny. I had a dream last night and I actually remembered some of it. And it was about a friend I haven't seen or spoken to in at least 4 years. And all morning, I've been debating, trying to text them. If not, why not, Shannon? Like if you haven't talked to this friend in 4 years because there was some bad blood, if you will, something happened that made you both angry at one another, maybe then it won't serve you. But if there was just an outfalling where you stopped talking to one another, just reaching out to that person and telling them, hey, I still think about you, I hope you're good, sending you love, even if they don't reply, even if they don't see it, that love has still been shared. So I would encourage it, friend. All of you, for literally all of you friends, if you have a friend that you haven't reached out to in a while, try to, just tell them, hey, yo, what's up? You can just do that. It's easy. It is easy. This rule of if it takes less than 2 minutes, do it right now. If you think about someone and you think about sharing love with them, and it's gonna take less than 2 minutes, just do it right now. And it can be daunting, especially if we have a lot of messages that we haven't gotten to. It's almost like we get pushed further and further away from it. But again, that friend, that person who sent you that message is no more than a thought away. You can share love with them in a single thought. And I do. I hope you friends know I try to share as much love as I possibly can with all of you. Are they positive or negative in your life? That's the first question I asked as well, Lisa. Thank you. Slag, it's nice of you to share love. Soul, where are you from, mate? I live and I've been born in South Africa, friend. It's quite a country. It's hot for most of the time. We have pretty mild winters. It doesn't drop below -5 degrees Celsius. I've never seen it below -5 degrees Celsius. We don't get snow. We don't get earthquakes. We don't get tornadoes. We don't get volcanoes. This country has so much potential. The people are beautiful. Oh goodness. Some of the most beautiful people I've met. Compassionate and sharing. And we've really like almost consolidated onto one another as a society, just because of the nature of our government. Like we had to rely on other human beings. It was the only way. It is the only way. And the cool thing is that we're really actually coming to that awareness as a collective. Every single one of us as human beings have come to that understanding together, or at least we are. The internet is just that understanding, manifested of like what is the most important thing to human beings? Communication. Okay, so how do we figure out how to put every single person into communication of every single other person? The internet. It's already happened. Here it is, friends. Here we are, literally in the paradigm shift. You understand how interconnected we are right now as a species. The fact that we are, what, 18,000 souls together in the same space, sharing the same understandings, sharing the same trip of our reality of like, what the fuck is happening? Technology? What do you mean I can see into different people's lives with this little mirror of the universe I have? And this could be a trip if you wanted, but this can be a mirror to yourself, right? This would be the way I would see myself if I was just looking in a mirror talking to myself. So if you want to melt your brain a little bit, you can just input that into your brain and be like, oh, I'm looking at myself in a mirror. There just happens to be some stuff behind me. But now I'm in this world. Would you look at that? Oh, nice. Now I'm this person. Now I have these hands and these eyes. And you just happen to have yours, friend. This infinity that we share. Now we actually can. We actually can share it more than we ever have been able to. We have the ability to record sound and video, and we can we can write things on our cell phones. We can, it's ridiculous. And this is almost the infancy of what it is we're doing actually. Like it's only now that we're figuring out how to use this for true interconnectivity. And what comes next is going to be surreal. I don't understand it fully yet, but I'm trying to prepare myself. And it's not something that you're preparing yourself for out of fear. It's like knowing that one of your flowers is going to bloom and preparing yourself to be there to see this flower, right? And if you were, if you had this plant in your house and you saw this spike being made, like flower bud being made, and you can think maybe that's beautiful. Maybe it has colors on it. Maybe it has, little lines on it, technicolor, psychedelic, fractals growing all over it, as it is in this pot form. And you're like, oh, this is beautiful. I don't want it to ever change. I want it to stay exactly the way it is right now because look at how beautiful it is. And then, and then, you spend the day doing something, being at work, working on your hobby, and you come back to your plant, and now suddenly, this technicolor, psychedelic, fractal spike turned into this open, blossom of a flower. And if you were completely attached to it being the way that it was, you would be devastated because it literally is unrecognizable. It's unrecognizable from what it was. But if you realize that it's all change, that's literally all there is. There's just change. And you as the experiencer of that. You can see the flower is beautiful. And you can know that the flower will wither and die. But we get to be here for it to bloom. We get to be here to give it water. We get to be here to shine light on it. And we are going to be the ones that see it bloom. And we'll try and keep this flower alive for as long as we can. I'm sure we will. I believe we can. I'm seeing more and more that people are becoming, I don't know if the word is awakened, but let's say awaken to the reality of our planet, of our interconnectivity to it, and our inability to survive, without it. The things that are happening in the world right now might even be a push, a positive push towards renewables than we've ever had, because so many countries are suffering right now because of energy. It's a little bit on the nose, but renewables will be used. It's no longer like a maybe renewables, within. No, now it's just like, oh shit. Oh, we understand now. Mm, yeah, it took some time. It's so wild how that resistance is there. It's in us all. It's about reprogramming that resistance to make us act quickly. I'm such a procrastinator. It's ridiculous. Me too, brother Isaac. Me too. Mm, these bird calls are beautiful today. I'm also a procrastinator, dude. Just like I'm just realizing, even in that moment, I procrastinated. Procrastinator. It happens. It happens, and I feel a part of myself wants to be like, oh yeah, it's the infinite part of myself that realizes that I have an infinite amount of time to do things, and then I'm like, but procrastination can get in the way of some things. At least, I feel if you have procrastination in your life, it has to be in balance. Like you have to set out at least 90 minutes in your day to do creative work, right? Two 45-minute sessions, two 44-minute and 44-second sessions. At least that, and just see what that does for you. And then you can literally, after having gotten that done, unfortunately, this happens as well. After getting stuff done in that two 44-minute sessions, you might feel very inclined to not do anything anymore. But at least you got something done. At least you did the thing that you believed in. You showed up. And I feel like we can just start showing up on a daily level, things are going to change fast. Like just think about that. Every single human being starts showing up for the thing they believe in for at least, let's do only 44 minutes a day. That is literally thousands of years worth of time invested into self-realization. And it's happening. It is happening. It's happening slowly, maybe, but it's happening. It's nice to see you, Slag. Thank you, Shannon, for sharing love. OG, no win to battle with this rolling the J. Interesting, huh? I didn't really battle with the wind too much, and yet there's like thunder clouds rolling behind me. Eden, pleasant voice. Is he doing what I think he's doing? Oh, that's awesome. Yes, I was doing what you thought I was doing, but I didn't bring a lighter, so I feel like it is perfectly in tune to not be smoking it right now. I get to think thoughts about it though, nonetheless. I really like how this little Garrick looks. It looks like it's full of spells. So much infinity in a single little joint. Human experience. The fact that we can experience things by not experiencing things. The fuck? Yeah. Isn't that neat? You're literally the node of infinity, friend. No matter what direction you go, you will experience. You will be aware. You will have your life. So why not have the good parts of it? Why not have good thoughts about it? Why not share your good thoughts about it with other people? In the morning, after beautiful yoga, I am sipping coffee with a bit of bud. writing thank you cards to the kind people that gave abundance in their presence to my wedding shower. What a good space to be in for gratefulness. Ooh, ooh, Isaac, like, oh, that almost actually, I have some goosebumps on my legs. Dude, thank you for even sharing that with me. Yeah, I'm so grateful. Sharing some of that. Oh, that gratitude back with you. Oh, sorry. It did a little bit of a bonk. Sharing back some of that gratitude with you, friend. I hope it's still okay. I do believe it's still working. Morning, Kira Burb. How are you doing today, friend? I've been thinking and sending you so much love. Anxiety, and just know anything about their life right now. This friend is a male, and I get cautious about reaching out to those of the opposite sex. I worry about causing issues with their significant others. I mean no harm, of course. Oh, Shannon, your shared, like your sharing of love is only seen that way, friend. Please do feel free to. I enjoy watching you speak deeply and roll the J at the same time. Oh, gee, thank you, friend, for sharing that love. All of that deeply spoken stuffs is now, magicked into that joint. So I'm probably going to get absolutely devastated by it if I smoke it later. So maybe it's good that I don't have a lighter around me right now. It's happening. I don't want to be the cause of any issues. No, you won't, Shannon. Like, if you're sharing out of love and that, if you're reciprocated or received out of love, they can only be love. I think sometimes when we progress and our friends stay the same, they're intimidated by that and put the brakes on. Partly so they don't have to look at their own lack of progress, partly because they're jealous, and partly because they're stuck. And I see all of that. Eden, that's the thing as well. I see all of that, and I am more likely to think that than I am to think about the good stuff. And that's why I'm talking about this single thought that we get to have. Because you can think about this friend and think, oh, I'm watching you stuck. Just take my hand. Let me help you out of the mud. Oh, why is it you're jealous of what's happening? Why don't you work for it yourself? Why haven't you worked for it for yourself? Oh, why aren't you progressing? Why don't you, have ambition for this or this? And those thoughts don't feel good, not to me. I can't imagine them feeling good to that other person if I had to be sharing them in person with them. So why am I thinking those thoughts? Even though they might be true, they don't serve me. And just thinking about the good stuff that we had together, thinking about the moments of eye contact, the moments of understanding that was shared, the moments of recognition, synchronicity, serendipity. Like, those are the things that I want to remember. And they're still there with the same amount of presence as all of those other thoughts. And you're using the exact same power to think one or the other. You're using the power to think one or another. And it can sometimes feel like the thoughts are using us. Maybe they are. All you have to do is stay aware. That's it. That's literally it. If you're like, oh, what's happening in my life right now? It's like, am I aware? Yes. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm always this. So stuff is happening in my life. I'm aware of it. Isn't that great? Partly they're stuck. It's a tough spot. Definitely worth deeper thought. Maybe a mutual friend you should ask. Maybe that wouldn't be bad actually. Beautiful perspective. It can be painful for friends, but also realizing the journey while things do stay connected. It's so tough sometimes. All we can do is love. You're completely right, Isaac. Been away from Reddit for a while. Good to see a familiar face streaming. Happy Krabby. Nice to have you here, friend. Thank you for joining us again. Jumpin' Jumanji joining us again. Blessings to you, friend. I don't know anyone who talks to them anymore. That's so difficult. And then the question that comes up into my mind is why? Like people don't just stop talking to another person for no reason, right? But then again, that feeling of, you're going to intrude, be too busy, be too much of a time hog, etc., etc. Hey, no, you, NW dude. It's nice to have you here again, friend. If you're coming from a good place and we are respectful, then that is an issue with the significant other and not you. Their gender should not have any influence on the friendship. I agree. That would be too scary. You should text them. I agree, Black. I agree. You emit positive power, positive energy, and create a ripple effect that spans the globe. Well done, sir. Jump in Jumanji. You're doing it as well, friend. Right now in this moment. If that is what I'm doing, me spending this moment with you means that you're doing it too. I couldn't do this alone. We can't do anything alone. Like this whole thing is about recognizing each and every single one of us as an infinitely valuable part to this whole, and that we're supposed to be here, and that we play roles, and that we play the fact that we play our roles is of utmost importance. And I appreciate you, dude, playing your role, Jumanji, sharing so much love with you, my friend. Rufus saying, "Hey y'all, what a wonderful day, everyone. Have a wonderful day, everyone. I hope you have one as well. I hope you have one as well. Thank you, friend. Is it hot outside there? It's actually kind of nice. It's actually kind of nice. The sun is thinking about starting to blast my eyeballs very soon. Maybe if I stream like this for the rest of it, I'll be okay. But it's a little bit brutal. I've reached out to three old friends only to be rejected, but I did say what I needed to, so I guess. Yeah, exactly, Lisa. It's done. You shared love, and the true sharing of love is without expectation. It's being like, okay, I'm gonna share love with this person, expecting nothing, nothing in return. Not the hello, not the I'm sorry, not you were right, not anything, expecting absolutely nothing. And that is very difficult. I do agree. And I'm still working on it actively every single day. But I feel that's the best way. I feel that's the best way. Would you recommend a holiday to South Africa? I wouldn't not recommend a holiday to South Africa. It's pretty nice, in general. What the fuck? I thought this guy was Jon Snow. Who's guarding the wall, dude? Like, I had to abandon post, man. Like last time we talked about this, I mentioned that there was an organism growing between me, the inside of my jacket and the outside of my jacket. And it was just basically eating my body sweat and keeping me warm. And I formed a symbiotic relationship with it. So I was like, hell no, I need to get the hell out of Dodge. And I started smoking weed to detox. So thank you, Fred, for asking. That is the way. No, you, Fred. You are the way. You are the way. That's why you're here. Do you know the way? I do, Happy Krabby. Why did you cut your hair? It's not cut, friend. It's just tied back. It's just tied back. I hate this. It's okay to hate it as well, friend. It really is. I feel what's more important than hating it, though, is just asking yourself why. Why do you hate it? Is it what I'm saying? Is it what you're feeling? Is it the things that you've done? Is it the things that you want to do? What part of it exactly makes you hate? And just being willing to sit with that, sit with where it comes from, invite it in, give it some water. You can find out a lot about yourself. Thank you, Exeter. Exactly. That would be great. If you don't reach out, you can't say, if you don't reach out, you can't say you tried. You can say you tried, I guess. Maybe it's not meant to be. Maybe it's meant to be. I feel that completely. That's deep. Thank you again, Shama. Thank you, Ballastor. I appreciate your love, friend. 23,000 people want to live with you. No, friend, I don't think they do. I don't think I do. You know, we are already united. We already are in this space together. This is the world we live in right now, and each of us have to be where we are. If we were all condensed into the same place, our ripples wouldn't really reach that far. You know, it would be like dropping a single big pebble in the ocean. It'd be like, oh, okay, cool, some ripples going out into infinity. But because we are all over the world, because we have the capacity to share love with our immediate families, our immediate people in our, daily lives, ripple out, ripple out, ripple out. That is what we have to do. We have to share love as individuals. We have to recognize ourselves as the other side of the infinite node of creation. Aiden, beloved friend, Bethany, thank you for sharing love here as well. It's you. You're the one. You know, like we've been kind of conditioned in our childhoods to see these movies about superheroes. You know that this is some person out there so powerful is gonna come and save the day. You're that person. You are that person. And if you're not, how do you expect your world to be saved? It's your world. It's your world. You're just looking from your side of the infinity into this side of the infinity. And you have to uplift this part of yourself. We're exactly where we're supposed to be, friend. It's incredibly intense. I hope to one day have the technology to really sense the souls we're with on the internet. Like in person, you can feel when you're next to someone. That would be incredible. So, I'm not exactly sure I can say that I can sense the soul, but as I've seen you friends basically express different parts of your soul in text form, it's like this, we kind of share, like there's this fractal that is you as a human being, and all of the things that make you up, and all of these little fractal individual points have different weights, and then those weights collapse into a single line of text, or a few lines of text that you emit from your brain using your fingers, right? And then that basically to me encapsulates, can educate me, show me the fractal that is you, right? And the more of these individual lines you make, the more of the fractal I can see. And then you wonder why I'm not bothered by negative comments, because all I can see is pain. Within that fractal, somewhere there was pain, somewhere there was a resistance, somewhere there was a, thing that was done, thing that wanted to be done, that isn't in alignment with the things I'm saying right now. And instead of seeing it as an attack, just to see it as an opportunity to share love. Pepe, she's not killing them anymore, fortunately, but she is being a little bit mean. Freaking Pepe. Are you having fun, Pepe? Your freaking long stockings. Such a character. I'm gonna read that in a second. Sorry, Aiden. Oh, 44 as I checked the time as well. Nice. Uh, I like to think the universe is a novelty machine, all just parts of the infinite fractal. I mean, if you said that to Terence McKenna, he would be doing triple backflips right now. It's a very good point. Novelty, that's one of I kind of like to bring it to experience first. Being aware allows experience, and then within experience, novelty. Layers. Layers. Thank you, Aiden, for adding some layers, dude. That would be incredible. You already are, Isaac, so incredible friend, and I can feel you, by the way. I guess the more we are connected, the less we feel connected. If that's what you feel, again, it's which part of the infinity you're going to choose. Are you going to choose, oh, there's all this interconnectivity, I feel so alone? Or are you going to go and connect yourself? Reach out to someone, send them a loving message, start a discourse with them in a loving way, try and talk about something you're both passionate about, and then feeling connected on something with someone. It's what you choose, friend. That is what life is, has always been, is what you choose. Yeah, that is what I said, and I said that I wanted to let them know that they were a special friend to me, and at one time in my life, and that's how I started one. That sounds beautiful to me, nonetheless, Lisa. Reconnected is right. Aberration, Mr. Aberration. Sup, brother man? Is that David? Is it David? David? It might be. I don't know if it's David. David. David M. I have a friend, IRL, as they say, called David. I've been able to touch his face, but I don't know if that's you, David. What's that? What's that, Poopy? What's that? Huh? What made that sound? What made that sound, Poopy? What made that sound? What's making that sound? Do you know what's making that sound? He's like guarding me now. Make sure. Make sure that thing doesn't get me. Make sure. Alright, watch. Uh, I love breathing into and really imagining how all of these people are currently experiencing all the environments, warm, snow, windy, so beautiful that we're blessed with this place. It's crazy, dude. It's like just to imagine all of the intricacy, all of the experience, all of the infinity that basically gets consolidated, that gets forced into this space when we all come together like this. Like, not only am I getting to experience your reactions to the things I'm saying, but that kind of like bleeds back into the things I'm saying and the things that you get to react to, and it's this and with like, I don't know if we did, but someone said if we have 23,000 people in a moment experiencing like that, even if they only experience for a second, that is 23,000 seconds worth of infinity experience, And then, like, every single second that gets added to that is just like fractal explodes further and further. We're literally making ripples into the world, friends. Hearing It's a Wonderful World playing in my mind. Oh, that's beautiful. Yes, perfect. Thank you for the love, friends. Snow. We got snow last night. Still snowing. It's snow fun. Snow fun. Oh, that's beautiful. I hope it stays kind of warm inside. Eden, sending you so much love. Mm. You're a cool cat. I'd like where your head and heart are, brother. Stay you. Mr. Aberration. Thank you for sharing that love, friend. I'm just your reflection. The stuff that you see in me is probably in you as well. Thank you for sharing that love. I just looked outside and saw it. One love to you, Buffalo. That's right. Gabagoo. Thank you for joining me, friend. It's nice to have you here. You look like my cousin Tony. Are you a Kiwi? Hmm. My skin isn't that rough, and I have cut myself a few times, and I do not have green innards. I don't think I'm a Kiwi. I'm South African, friend. Thank you for joining and for asking the Raggly Beggly. I don't know if that's the right way to read your name, but sending love to you, Professor Goo. Thank you for sharing your light with us this morning. You are loved worldwide, as you are as well, Professor Goo. Thank you for sharing some love with us. It's nice to have you here. To you friends who don't know, Professor Goo is one of Uncle Becky's good friends, like good in-person friends. Ali Rides, good morning to you, friend. It's nice to have you here as well. Melt, I have a fantastic audiobook recommendation. It's available printed as well, but the audiobook is done so well. It's called Talking to Strangers by Malcolm Gladwell. I think I've listened to that one. So much perspective. I've read it 3 times. I think I've actually listened to that one. Malcolm Gladwell. Wasn't he the one that wrote Outliers as well? I think I've read Outliers. I don't think I've read Outliers as well. What a character. Hey, Coco, thank you for joining us. No, I'm not him, lol. I was a commenter a couple of weeks ago. We talked about Dhammapada. Thank you for joining us again, David. How have you been since, friend? How's life been treating you? And how have you been, Coco? So much chaos in my environment. So much chaos in this moment. chaos down a little bit. We got bad omens. Bad omens? Nah, Coco. Ain't no such thing as bad omens. Unless you think of them as bad omens. You can think of them as an opportunity to have everything that you thought you needed in your life melted away. Mm. And you're like, that sounds horrible, Melt. I'm like, it might be. Or maybe you will learn something about yourself about that. So what is Haywire Hill? Haywire Hill is a subreddit and a farm in America. An actual place or just a virtual space for like-minded people. It's an actual place and a space for like-minded people. So both. Both, David. You can come and join us as well. If you go and search on Reddit r/haywire_hill, you'll be able to find it. Hoping you're doing well. 443 watchers, meaning lots of lurkers. To the lurkers, you are expressly invited to the stream. Put a cup of tea or some water and feel free to post your question. Thank you for sharing that invitation and love. I appreciate that so much, Michelle. Today is so open and full of hope. I love today. I love me today. But mostly, I love all of you. Thank you for sharing that love, Kira Bird. That's beautiful. Love your positivity. Right? Me too, Ali. Oh, gross. No. No? Just a no, Coco? Yes. Yes, in fact. Yes, Coco. Not no no's. Only yes. Alexandre. Me and Coco is this fighting a battle. She's like, oh, bad omens. And I'm like, no, good omens. And she's like, no. And I'm like, yes. Coco, it'll be okay, friend. I know it seems crazy right now, and there's a lot of change happening, but realize that that is the only constant. You in change. You in infinity. How are you doing, Alexandre? Thank you for joining us again, friend. I'm doing well, dude. I'm doing well. A little bit tired, a little bit. I feel like I'm spread thin sometimes, but other than that, doing really good. Thank you. Good to see you. Good to see you, friend. Thank you for joining us. You are loved. You are loved. Yes, you are, Kira Burp. Lots of love in one chat box. It's true, dude. Like, how can I for a second be like, you know what? Is love true? Looks away, looks at chat again. Oh yes, in fact, love seems to be very true. Much to you, Fred. We can't be united if people are still killing each other. Putin can go to hell. Putin, I think, is already living in his own hell, friend. Have you seen what he meets with people like? Like he doesn't allow them within, like 20 meters of him. Like he's terrified of every single person in his life. He has, people, bodyguards driving around with him, protecting him from getting murdered. He's already in a hell, smack dab in the middle of it. And I feel sorry for him. I don't want him to suffer more, actually. I wish he would stop what he's doing and relieve his own suffering. Sitting with the feeling is so important. It is. I'm happy that you're willing to say that as well. Who needs tears? It's such a beautiful username, such irony. It's a major problem, but unfortunately, Putin isn't the only one. You're right. So true. Like there's so much money, about that whole thing as well. It is indeed. It's difficult indeed. Sometimes the things that are most difficult are the most valuable. Solid advice. You're so right. You're just the one, with the truth in you, friend. I absolutely agree and love you for the reminder. Thank you for sharing it, friend. What should I do if me and friends like the same girl? Me and a friend like the same girl. He told me he liked her first, so I should let her go. Lord Fred, I feel you have to ask yourself first before thinking about letting the girl go. Are you willing to let the friend go? Because that is where the relationship was. It's one thing to want to have a relationship with a female, but after having been allowed a beautiful, loving relationship with someone, even though they might be just a male friend, that should be your first priority. And then, out of respect, like ask this friend if he likes her and he has gone out of his way to make sure that she knows he likes her and has tried to ask her out on a date, etc. and she has denied or rejected his approach, talk to him about it. Ask him about it. If he hasn't done any of that and it's been like months of him just kind of liking this girl and not being willing to take the first step, give him an ultimatum. That way you might actually help your friend. Be like, if you don't ask her out, I will. Maybe he'll be a little bit encouraged to do so, but all of that should be in love first and foremost. Like, you should love your friend, you should love the relationship that you have with him, and then from that place you can maybe make an educated decision. It's too difficult for me to say, friend. There's too many different fractal variables to your relationship and what you should be doing going forward. Thank you for asking, though. Helping the world smile and opening doors for so many souls. It's awesome. You friends are awesome. Thank you. I'll just say thank you. Have you heard of Mara from the Buddhist text? Kind of. Kind of. Mara is a demonic celestial king whose daughters tempt Sadartha, Sadartha on his way to becoming the Buddha. Just as a storm throws down a weak tree, so does Mara overpower the man who lives for the pursuit of pleasure, who is controlled in his senses, immoderate in eating, indolent and dissipated. That's some hectic stuff you're sharing with me right now, David. And I'm like putting that mirror up to myself and being like, staring into my own eyes. I'm willing to admit that those things do sometimes, get to the best of me. But I'm also willing to admit that they're not all of me, right? Like, I have both sides. I'm capable of both sides. You are both sides. I don't need to be the Buddha. The Buddha has been in infinity, everything. I'm just Meltmore. A series of choices for sure. That's just life. That's just life. Beta Low, thank you for joining us, friend. Same here. More snow. Sky, please. If we're having dandruff, Sky, use head and shoulders. Please don't dump the snow all over us. That's hilarious, Isaac. Hey, Aunt B, thank you for sharing some love here as well. I love the sounds of chaos. Me too. Me too. More so than ever. I used to not like it at all. Chaos is better to me than noise. At least oscillating. Like, I'm trying to think, because some white noise I can kind of tolerate and appreciate, but I have to get used to it. And there's some noise that my brain absolutely gets irked by. I'm just going to skip. I feel the thing that I was trying to get to is that I feel I'm more tolerant than ever of, like, chaos noises, at least. I was not expecting snow today. Why is it so cold? It's even cold here. So maybe it's just a little bit of the earth, trying to cool us down a little bit. Maybe things are gonna get hot going into the future. Yay for all the friends from last night. P.S. Discording you a time. Please do. Thank you. Steve saying, "Damn, bro, where did your hair go? Looking good though." No, hair is still on my head. It's just, kind of slipped back. I do it so little that people are like, fuck, Melt has the ability to not have loose hair. Brain starts melting. Are you in Hawaii? No, unfortunately not. I do now have a strong drive slash drawing to Hawaii than I've ever had before. Like, in my yoga classes that I went to last week, there was one girl that mentioned that Hawaii is what they call New Earth, because the entire Hawaii island is basically, a dead volcano. So all of the magma that came from below built this island, and now that is what it is. It's this new Earth, new piece of land that has been created by Earth, and it has some apparent powers because of that. So now I'm drawn to it. 8. Just as a storm cannot prevail against the Rocky Mountains, so Mara can never overpower the man who lives in meditating on the impurities, who is controlled in his senses, moderate in eating, and filled with faith and earnest effort. Now that makes me feel the other side of the infinity again. Thank you for that. I appreciate it, David. JB Frog is here dropping off a beautiful tree, but I'm just waking and stirring, excited for the day. An actual tree? An actual tree, on B. Like, please do tell. Where? We're still here. Dude, it's been a while since you've been, but thank you for joining us again. How are you doing, friend? Oh, how exciting. Love the new plant family member. Me too. I hope to see it actually grow. We probably will. Watch a tree grow as well, tuning into the Haywire Hill streams. I really, I really thought spring was coming. What a mean tease. It's supposed to be almost 70 later this week, though. Maybe it's just like one more bout of like, sprinkle a little bit of cold on you before you get to have the warm. It's been amazing. Jasmine's hair and makeup trial was yesterday and her dress fitting. I had a lovely massage and conversation and spent time with her grandmother. A beautiful day. Thank you for asking. Thank you for telling us. Oh, dude, Isaac, that sounds so beautiful, Brother Bear. I'm guessing, the fact that you said it in that way, that you and her grandmother have a good relationship with one another as well. And I remember you saying, that it's been such an honor to you, such a pleasure being able to have now, this loving and accepting and close family, being of Jasmine, being her family. I can't even imagine. I really cannot even imagine. I imagined a little bit. But even that imagination still felt like it was lacking. Thank you so much for sharing that thought with me, Brother Bear. My head is cold. Head count one for lurking today. I'm a perpetual thinker. I usually have to sit and really listen to fully process the information being presented to me. A blessing and a curse. Working on my multitasking skills. No such thing. There's no such thing as multitasking, okay, Anna. Our brain can run parallel processes, but it still runs those parallel processes with a single core processor, if you will. It's like, yeah, I'm just going to be doing these different tasks a little bit at a time, and then it's going to feel like it's a continual multitask, but actually it's just you going in straight lines in different frequencies. So don't worry about that at all. Mine also goes. It's a blessing and a curse, as you're saying. I feel it's not a bad thing, though. I feel it creates so much experience in us in a moment that, it's a little bit mind melting sometimes. But I wouldn't change it even if I could. I was honestly thinking about your head being cold, like, damn, just as she shaves her head. It's cruel. So cruel. I mean, like, at least Kira Burb looks fire in a beanie. Oh, what a roller coaster. Oh, absolutely. All right. That's awesome. Is she happy with how everything is turning out? I do hope so as well. Hey, everybody. Jovan is with people this morning, but I know she is thinking of you all. Thinking of Jovan as well. I saw like a diamond shape, and then in that diamond shape was like a block like this, and then a block like that, and then a block at the bottom of the diamond shape, and a block on this one as well, and then empty space in here. Or maybe it was a third block. It might have been a third block, so 3 blocks on the sides and 2 blocks up top in a diamond shape. So sending whatever that is to Jovan. I hope she receives it well. As we are her, there we go. The first 20 verses in the Dhammapada, known as the Yamakavaga pairs, goes back and forth like that. I kind of enjoy those because they create this, again, this infinity loop inside of your mind where it's like, oh, this part of the infinity. How do you feel about that? Do you see yourself in that? Oh, this part of the infinity. How do you feel about that? Do you see yourself in that? And the whole point of those stories are to show you that you are both sides of the story. You are the infinity. You are, the Mara and the Buddha. It's just which you're choosing. It's just which you're choosing. I was totally vibing with the honking geese. I'm so happy to be sharing them with you as well. They're quite characters. Can be a little bit loud, especially when Pippi chases them. Pippi is big enough that the geese don't chase her back, so she's gained some confidence, and now she's like, "What's up? What's up, gooses?" Stepping up to my turf. I love her so much. Like she's definitely quite something. Like she has character traits that I've never seen in a dog before. So weird sometimes. 11. Those who mistake the unessential to be essential and the essential to be the unessential, dwelling in wrong thoughts, never arrive at the essential. I don't need to. All the essential is the now. That's the thing as well, David. There is only now. That is what's essential. And in that context, if you're like, oh, maybe we should do this, maybe we should do that, maybe we should be saying talking about these things, to try and get away from this moment. Maybe that is missing the essential. But you cannot. It's impossible to miss what is essential this moment. You cannot miss it. It's just here. Always. You just here. Always. Oh, she was beaming. I came into the salon after my massage, and she had her makeup done, and the look on her face in the chair, all done up, she was glowing. So happy for that. Seems all went perfect. Dude, like, if I could tell you the stuff I feel when I read stuff like that, bro, you would melt. Those who know the essential to be the essential and the unessential to be the unessential, dwelling in the right thought, do arrive at the essential. Yes, yes, David, exactly that. But I feel, that wording can be very vague and up for interpretation, where I try to be very direct, even though I don't know anything. I want to be more direct than ever because it doesn't help to be vague. Not with the stuff that we need to be doing. We need to be clear. We are already kind of stuck in this left brain masculine mindset, the one that wants instructions, wants a clear path of what to do, because the right brain side of us is like, woo, wow, whoa, whoa, wow, 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 wow. That's the right brain, and the left brain is like, yes, do so and so. Okay, I'm going to get this done. I have so much time left. And then like kind of merging these two parts of yourself by allowing on a time-based level your left brain to do something, and then in that time allowing your right brain to lose its mind. The essential, friend. Okay, okay, working on my doing skills. You're so perfect. Don't worry about it at all, okay, Anna. I know that you already are. You're sharing love. That's what we're here to do at the end of the day. That's amazing. I'm so happy she's loving it. I'm sure you're going to be absolutely stunning on the day. Oh, for sure. I'll be seeing her later, so we'll see if diamonds come up in the conversation. I like to see that as well. Please do let me know. Are we talking about smoking DMT? No, we're talking about having conversations. Which, if you really want to get technical about it, could be like smoking DMT. Might not be as strong, but I say things and then you hallucinate them. Excuse me, what? Excuse me, what did you just say? Yeah. Isn't that fucking weird? You can imagine a tree starting from a seed, exploding out of the ground, reaching up into the sky, and as soon as it reaches as far as it can, starting to bloom these beautiful your color flowers. And these color flowers have little petals waving. And then there's a technicolor bee, wow, coming along, coming and sitting on this flower. And this flower looks like he eats the bee, but actually just closes gently around it. And then you see bright light starting inside of the flower, and then exploding outwards. And the bee is like supercharged with some sort of source of energy. And then it goes back to its hive. And instead of kind of like eating the pollen that it's gathered, it basically just shares its light with the rest of the hive. And the hive is this bright, glowing, object that hangs from a tree. I just made sounds and then we hallucinated together. What the fuck? What is wrong? What is right with human beings? Maybe we are. experiencing DMT right now. Maybe it's serotonin, maybe it's dopamine, maybe it's the third eye's ability to see into different realities, and all we need is a prompt. Maybe it's none of it, maybe it's all of it. I don't know, dude. All I know is that I'm very grateful to be alive. Lucky you. Brain equals multi-state mainframe, able to compute and complete various tasks at once. Consciousness, single core processor running DOS, and only able to process one task at a time. Yes, I think that might actually be accurate. That might actually be accurate. And interestingly enough, that's technically how code works. You know, like we have all of these languages, but those languages are just so that we as human beings can communicate to the machine what it has to do in ones and zeros. So that single state of consciousness of 1 0 1 0 1 0 0 1 1 0 0 1 1, you know, like which side you're kind of falling into. That ultimate awareness of, it just falls into the awareness of not being aware or being aware. Like running DOS, like running basic code. That's hilarious. Thank you, Servidea, for that. I'm definitely excited. Next up is my bachelor's weekend. I get to go to a sick cabin in Virginia mountains and go to a dark ski park with my brothers and my friends. Mushies and good food. So ready for the experience with them. That sounds so freaking cool. I hope you have an amazing time. I'm sure you will, Isaac. Oh my goodness, you have me laughing so hard. Thank you for the morning laughs over the geese talk. Thank you, friend, for sharing love with us. The Cobra Chinkums, as we like to call them as well. I need to be more present. I'm listening to the stream, and all I hear are words sometimes. Common brain. Do your job. Even if you only hear words, you know, like as I say, like you shouldn't be listening to me like anything I'm saying comes from a place of authority. You should be listening to me like you are the authority. Like you should be like, skeptical. Let's hear if Melt's gonna get up to some bullshit today. I feel this way about this. I feel that way about that. And then that is what you should be taking from. So the fact that you're just feeling, you know, that you're not even listening to the words, even if you're just feeling, like technically the words are still vibrations, you know, flying over your body, hitting your actual cells. Maybe that cells, you know, the water transforming, having, what's it called exactly? I'm forgetting the name. These frequencies basically have different patterns. Maybe that stuff happens to us on our bodily level. So whatever it is you're experiencing, even if you're experiencing none of the words, that is your experience, and that is exactly what you need, Eden. Maybe it's rest. Maybe it's supposed to be that way. Oh, how I feel that our brains process it nonetheless. I think my brain's like nice slow digestion. I agree, Eden, and Eden, Isaac, and we say a lot of things sometimes. You know, I feel like as it is, I'm already a fast talker. So not only are we talking fast about things, but we're talking about things that will take you a long time to actually properly process. And then I can say something and you can be like, huh, let me think about that. And then I'm still going on, you know, saying things. And then you're like, okay, I felt that. And then you get back into the stream and you're like, oh, just words are being said. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, okay, now I hear what he's saying again. And that is what I'm like as well. That is what I'm like as well. So, like, don't feel bad about it. That is what the human experience, your divine experience, is supposed to be like. Felt that goodness, I could take this energy and inspiration and practice guitar. I've been slacking so much on that. Just a little bit. Just a little bit, Isaac. You know, imagine how cool it would be to one day play your kids, you know, music with the guitar. Like my dad did as well. I feel it could have been better, but it wasn't bad. All of it was pretty cool. Send me the info. The beanie is almost done. There we go. So lucky. That sounds amazing. Shavina? Savina? Sorvinia. Oh, Sorvina. Maybe that's why you're like, bruh, please. So, Savina. Thank you, Savina. I think I'll remember it. Savina, 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 Stardust. Thank you, friend. Yes, ma'am, it is. Is that how you pronounce? No R in the name. I think it might have just been me, Savina. No R in the name. Thank you as well, Edith. I just read that and it said it slowly in my brain 100 times. Accent made me giggle. Same. Legit me too, but my stupid brain doesn't want to drop the R sound, even though my own maiden name has silent letters. Like I feel like we've maybe like programmed ourselves. I've been saying Sorvinia so many times, but like now my mind wants to say Sorvina, for some reason. Sovina, 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 Sovina. Sovina is actually a pretty nice name. Sovina. Sounds very feminine, soft. Sovina. Okay, I do believe it's saved now. If I attached enough little, like imagine like a tree, right? And then this tree has like no leaves on it. It only has these small upsticking branches. And then there is this dome, let's say, that you can put over it, and this dome is soft. It's almost like made of jelly. And then you can like take these different little ends of the tree and stick them in the dome. That's what it feels like remembering things sometimes. I just read that and say it again. Sovina, Sovina, Sovina. Well, the R after an O sounds more like so or sore rather than emphasizing the R. Yes, Sovina. So, but there is an R. There is an R. So I'm happy that I wasn't, like just tripping out completely. Oh, I see. Mr. Rene, I have watched you for a while now, and you have grown so much in your journey, sending you light and love as you continue on your way. Thank you for that, friend. I'm intimidated by it sometimes. I know that I'm not even close to done growing. We're growing together as well. That's the crazy thing, Mrs. Renia. We're growing together. Like there's some really interesting studies in epigenetics happening right now where we have some definitive evidence now that you can literally change your gene expression by doing yoga. And I would like to believe you can change your gene expression by having conversations as well. But we'll know that in a few years. Remember I said that. Literally being able to see, even being able to test, our gene expression to see if we can like help people even by just having conversations with them, just by sharing love with them, just by growing with them. We can literally transform the world as well, not only on a mental level but even on a genetic level. That's where I think we're going. This makes sense. So much better. My brother's girlfriend's name is Sophie, and my grandmother loved her, but always called her Sophia every time for years. Sophie, Sophia. Was she bothered by it? It's like one vowel, right? What is just one vowel, grandma? Or it's just like it's one vowel. It's just one vowel. Sophia. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that as well. Like it must have been a little bit comical to everybody hearing it at least. It's so funny how we just see what we want to see sometimes, even though the truth is right there in front of us. All of reality is in front of you right now, friends. All of reality. And even what comes next is in front of you right now. And that realization is only a thought away. accepting that you are that node of infinity, the crossing, the synchronicity, the resonancy that allowed you to be here now. It's wild. I'm so happy to be sharing it with friends, with loved ones. Like what's coming back to me right now. The last time I had a DMT experience, the thing that I was being shown, if you will, is how alone the spiritual realm can be. And it was odd. It was odd because it made me sad. I felt a real sense of I'm alone within infinity and within unity. And then we came here, to experience what it's like to be reunited, what it's like to have these moments with one another, to be able to have it daily, like in this moment. If you want to, you can be reunited. You can melt more. Like I feel like I hear your friends say like, oh, you've grown, you have grown. And then I'm like, but how the hell do I feel like I know less now than I did when I started doing this? And on top of it, how did that part of myself know that I was supposed to be doing this? When I feel that part of myself, even though I feel like I know less now, that part of myself definitely knows less than I did. This infinity breaks my brain a little bit. It makes me think about the subconscious. The thing that thinks without you knowing what it thinks. And maybe the things it thinks makes you think the things you think. And maybe the things you think makes you do things. So maybe your subconscious is the one in control this whole time, pulling strings on your consciousness. I feel that way. I feel like I'm not even one that's supposed to take responsibility for any of this. Like there is this part of ourselves that knows so much better. And all we have to do is listen. All we have to do is see. That's literally it. Legit. Can't blame them for my weird name. You're... What, Eden? Not a single person has ever said my last name. Oh, a properly last name. That makes a little more sense. I don't have to look if I close my eyes. Yes, exactly. I'm used to people butchering my name IRL too. Sovina. I think I'll try and remember. I think I'll try and remember. I'm trying to remember, but I'll remember. But I'll try to. I'll make no promises. Do you have a career? I've created a career for myself, David. Yes. I'm going to become a yogi as well. Be teaching yoga soon. Just watched you for a while now. Just the fact that you are realizing that you know less means you have grown. And it's again coming like full circle. That's intimidating to me, Mrs. Renia. Like, it's a little bit jarring to realize that I know less now. We've literally melted, even though we know more than ever. We know less than ever. Both sides of the infinity. That's what we are. The nurse told my mom that she was saying my name wrong right after I was born. She made my poor mama cry so hard. My grandma called me Kristen for years, not my name. Like, what is your name then? Kira, I know that we call you Kira, but I don't know if it's from that. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know. Felt that. I spelled it so many times at work. I have to get creative. Oh my lord, she literally created the name. How could she get it wrong? That's hilarious. Who else is part of the I'll never find my name on a souvenir maggot club? Kayana. Is Kayana not? I mean, you're the first Kayana I've ever like met. Jovan was also the first Jovan I've ever met. Solvinia, obviously. Kristen. I know a Kristen, but I don't know any Kiras. I mean, unless you take into consideration, the anime Death Note. Although Eden is actually becoming a common name now. In school, though, there was never another Eden. I've also never met another Eden, and it is a beautiful name. Like to me now, like Eden unfortunately has biblical connections, but it doesn't have to be biblical necessarily. It can just be a beautiful, you know, all loving, all giving garden, flowers and fruits. And from that Eden fruit cup. So beautiful. So freaking beautiful. Oh, unless you have a stupidly common name like Richard, John, Sarah, Helen, then you have no chance. The more you know, the more you don't know. The more you know, the more you don't know. The more you know, you don't know. The more you know, the more you don't know anymore. He who knows doesn't speak. He who speaks doesn't know. And I have to be both sides of that infinity as well. And it's so funny. Like I've heard Ram Dass kind of going into that topic or that point as well, and it's such a beautiful one to make. My dad set the nurses straight. She is named after a teacher in Amsterdam. Stop making my wife cry, that boy. I came to accept the young age there would never be a Kayana anywhere. Still waiting on being proved wrong. I am open to being wrong. I never met an Eden. It's a lovely name, and I feel we don't need to meet those other sides of ourselves either. Kayana is a beautiful name. Eden is a beautiful name. The first time I really thought about names as something significant, for the longest time of my life, it was like, just a sound, was when I, again, went to that festival and this dude called the Digital Shaman, at least that's the name he's chosen for himself. His real name was Kerry, like Ceri. Kerry. Yeah. And he basically broke into this, I don't know if it's a speech, I guess you can call it that, but he was talking about the power of the name, the power that you put into your name. Like when you say I am and you've chosen to identify with a name, you should say that name as if you're exclaiming it into the universe, as if you're manifesting yourself into the universe. I am Meltmore. I am Meltmore. And I'm Estian. And I'm Christian. You're creating these parts of yourself by putting it out into the world, basically. So you already are, even if you don't find yourself. Yeah. Oh, I've got to share a picture of my rug I did yoga on yet today. Just realized it's full of infinity symbols. Suddenly my brain gets another download. Super not common name. There are tons of Kayanas or Kayanas, but they never met or heard of another Kayana, especially hyphenated. Oh, of course. I had to go back and check. He already butchered my name again. I think Sovinia. Am I saying so? Please, please. I hope I'm not saying it wrong again. John represent. Thank you for sharing love, friend. John, I appreciate you being here with us, John. There is no I after the N. Sovina. Did I say Nia? You're right. Sovina. 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 I'm so sorry. My old southern nana wanted me to be named McDaniel. Hmm. McDaniel as your name? McDaniel. I don't hate it, Isaac. Like I feel we would never have been able to call you Isaac. which would have been a massive loss, of course. But McDaniel, McDaniel, McDaniel entered the bar. His gaze darts to see a dartboard. McDaniel never shies away from a challenge. He walks up dragging his heavy, studded boots, grabs himself 3 darts. The whole bar goes quiet to watch McDaniel throw these darts. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Instantly, my mind goes into a whole archetype for Isaac being McDaniel. Mm. True, but especially, we do not choose our names. They are chosen by parents. Even nicknames are generally given to us by friends. It's only in the digital age that we create usernames to be identified by. It's true. You're so right on that, Sovina. Like, and it's crazy that that is actually where we are right now, where instead of our entire existences kind of accepting being labeled by a name, and that's just our name for the rest of our existences, in this digital age, we have created new identities for ourselves. We have, in my opinion, the Meltmore name I've taken on with this understanding that I melt more to reduce or to melt away what I used to be, and that name is attached to that understanding of my ego that I'm melting away the ego I used to have, melting into a new ego that I'm creating for myself, and then at the same time, like trying to identify with not having a name at all. Like it's these layers of trying to understand ourselves, and the fact that we can choose names for ourselves now, I believe at least, is going to allow us to be even more. Like, not only to choose a name, but to try and live by that name. Like, I'm just thinking about Isaac as a as a name as well. Like, literally, taking on that role of being wise and like projecting it onto him every time I say it as well. I was also named James, which is my middle name, a common one of the southern side. But there's already a Jim, Jimmy, and Jimbo, so I was afraid. Please, please, Isaac. Claps. Hey everybody, thank you, Sovina, sending you love, Katie. Thank you for joining us, friend. It's nice to have you here. It's the time, Corey. It's the time. Corey is the James middle name. Then we have more synchronicities. I remember in Sunday school as child learning the story of Abraham and Isaac, and it tripped me out when I was 4. You were like, "What the fuck? Why is my name in this book?" I did what? I was a wise old man. I had a little kid living with me. The kid was seeing angels. Excuse me? There's songs about it. Isaac, I can only imagine, friend. Hey, look who it is. Where is it? Catching you at the end, I was like, damn it, did I bring the stick without freaking Melina being here today? I was like, no. Cannot let it happen. Catching you at the end of the stream, confused by the daylight savings that happened today for me. An hour is going to be a big change. Thank you for joining us nonetheless, my friend. Last time I did acid, my girlfriend broke up with me halfway through the trip. Oh, that's brutal, friend. The last time I took mushrooms with friends here, my dad let me know that my grandpa passed while I was speaking as well in the middle of the trip. So I feel sometimes these things happen with us in that state of mind so that we can really process all facets of it. And you probably did process all facets of it when you experienced it that way. I'm so sorry, friend. That must have been brutal. Yeah, got you. Really, yeah. Lord help us. Oh, in another universe, he's CJ. Oh, yes. CJ. CJ versus Ninja Nanner. Lord help us. Estienne, do you mind calling me Shelly and not Michelle? Michelle is my work name. Since you're working saying Vina's name differently, I just thought I'd ask. Of course, Shelly. I feel the same way about Meltmore, where Estienne is always not my work name and Meltmore is my work name. But it's completely okay. I'll feel Real Morton free to Shelly. It is. Is it then Shell, or is it Shelly? That's also something that I want to ask, because the way that I thought about it was like me Shell, and I was like just Shell. So do let me know about that as well, so I can get it right. It reminds me of the Muppets Treasure Island with Billy Connolly saying Jim, Jimmy, Jim, Jimmy, Jim. Like straight over my head. I'm sorry, Savina. I'm gonna freaking get it into my brain. You're telling me my father was going to sacrifice me because of the voice in his head? I'm terrified. He was doing what? He was, but why? But why? What did I do? And he was like, no, but God told him so. And he was like, and then he was like, sick. Let me just burn my son. Nice stick. Thank you, friend. Thank you. I'm very happy with this stick, actually. You know, it had some exposed parts that kind of like colored the wood a little bit. I sealed it with beeswax, torched it a little bit. You know, it got a little bit of char on it. It's nice and strong. It's oddly shaped as well, so I'll find myself finicking with this one. And I was like contemplating cutting it off right there to have it more straight looking, and I was like, no, this little knoblet here needs to stay. You know, and now I get to experience. I get to experience having a stick, creating for myself an experience of having a stick, and I've also, you know, attached this stick to a name of a friend, you know, Melita. She's actually here in the stream with us right now, and she's one of the persons that, you know, really kind of encourages, or I think encourages is the right word, but also brings perspective on the side of magic. And yeah, this to me is now a magical object. I've put in brain powers, nature powers into it, and now it's a magical object in my mind. Thanks, man. It was awful. It's been hard to trust another partner since. For what it's worth, friend, you know, I haven't been in a relationship in like going on 4 years, and like being broken up with while you're on acid isn't the only thing that can cause you not to trust partners. It's still you, my friend. At the end of the day, it's just us. We're sensitive human beings, you know, all of us. Allow yourself some time to heal. That's all I'll say. You know, I, I would think that I've had enough time to heal, but no, it seems we're going into infinitum. When the time is right, it will be right for both of us, friend. Mm-hmm. Yeah, imagine that, but Billy the Cable Guy. That's my family reunion. Nice take. Thank you again, Shell and Shelly. I love. There we go. Perfect. Thank you for letting me know, friend. Oh, if you haven't watched Muppets Treasure Island Melt, you should. I don't think I have watched Muppet Treasure Island. Sovenia. Sovina. Oh, Nia. Man, I keep pulling from that fractal where I've had you stored, and I'm like, I have to now pull those little branches out and replace them with new ones, and it's difficult. I gotta watch that again. I think I've watched the original Muppet Show, but I don't know if I've seen the Treasure Island one. You've inspired me to watch some Muppets and have a sing along with Little Fruit Cup. Oh goodness, that sounds so beautiful. Please, Eden, let us know how it goes. Let us know if she enjoys it as well. I'm good, Lord. The amount of cozy love, imagining that made me feel. How beautiful. Me too. Dude, I was imagining as well the fractal of experience slash, you know, how that's going to influence her going forward in life, having this ridiculousness kind of, you know, projected onto her, getting her to see, you know, like basically into the infinity of chaos, you know, in the Muppet universe, and then being able to grow from that, like evolutionarily, genetically, to be able to manage those type of worlds. You know, and we're going to be living in a world where human beings are going to be as odd as Muppets. We're already as odd as Muppets. We're just going to get even better. Subs, Dead Tom's dead. Long John shot him, sobs. But Dead Tom's always been dead. That's why he's called Dead Tom. Oh, drop skeleton. Sovina. I don't know that one. I'm guessing it might be from the actual movie you friends are referencing right now. Maybe I should go and watch it. Oh, ooh, ooh. Some movement. Friends! I am going to say goodbye for today. Maybe I'll have a stream up looking at a bonfire. Maybe I'll do that. You want to see the bonfire? Seems my dad is making a bonfire behind me. So I'll let you friends appreciate bonfire. Maybe what a little sunset. Have some sunset colors coming through. But I have to go to the bathroom. And then I have to get ready for a podcast very soon. Whew! What a time to be alive. Friends, if you want to support me, I actually have a means of supporting me. So, the way that I've been thinking about it, and I want to share it in this moment as well, I have been making flowers, you can call them, right? And thinking of this universe as an infinity, I like to think of myself as a masculine person, right? And then I have these feminine parts inside of myself. And these feminine parts inside of me are the parts that dance and sing and chant and, like do those sort of things. And the masculine part of me is the part that shows up, the part that is driven by time, the part that is like, yeah, things have to be this way. And like I've really been willing to look at myself as both sides of those infinity, the masculine and the feminine. And in that mindset, was it now, 2 days ago, I realized that these works of art I make daily and post at the Patreon are flowers that I'm making from my divine feminine to the divine masculine within every single one of us. Like providing this infinite beauty to be experienced. This the giver and the receiver of life. And if you friends would be willing to receive some flowers from me, you can do so by having a single dollar donation to the Patreon. Well, $1.11. If you friends are willing, I would appreciate it. You friends being here now is more than enough already. So thank you for being here. Melty dance stream around a bonfire. Maybe I will do a little bit of a dance. Melt the light, the lightning, the lighting, and plant slightly moving. Your environment looks heavenly right now. It feels almost like picturesque, friend. That's why I want to kind of like keep sharing it with you friends. He does look like a little angel. Thank you, friends. Thank you so much for the love you share. I love that. You are divinely both. We are divinely both. Literally, all of us, every single one of us, both sides of the infinity. I just really want to acknowledge that, and that's why I'm making the daily works of art as well now. Because I'm like, there's so much beauty within infinity. And by living into that, all we can do is make more of it. Melt more of it, if you will. So much love to you, friends. I'm going to end the YouTube stream now, but I'm going to keep you friends on. I love you so much. Thank you for being here today. Doodles. Like, this is still